Okay, so in today's video about ICP, at first I'm going to do a short-term analysis and see what is happening in this area and what might be next for internet computer, and then I'm going to go on some other charts and tell you why do I believe not only in ICP but probably in a lot of altcoins we are hitting some sort of a bottom. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a great time with your family and loved ones. And if you remember, the last time that we talked about ICP, I think we were actually right on top of this move on the upside, and I was saying, look, this can be considered as a very classic ranging pattern right in here. Excuse me, this is the lower line and this is the higher band of our range, and you need to wait a bit more and see, are we going to get a move up, pullback, and a continuation of the move in order to take this high or not? Because if we do this at that point, we can expect this move up in internet computer is going to continue a bit more in order to reach to at least about the $8.5 to $9 region, which was a very important resistance area. So what happened? Unfortunately, we didn't get our move on the upside. Instead, we got a breakdown in this range. Now, here's the deal. In the previous videos, I was saying maybe this is going to be like an A correction for wave B and another move down into our C leg. And I still stand by what I said. I think this is still some sort of an ABC structure. Now I'm going to say it might be in form of a flat. And let's go around here. So in an ABC flat on the downside, we're going to have our initial move down into a correction for wave B. And in this move, we are going to get very, very close to this high. We might even take it. It's not going to be a problem at all. And then we're going to have another move down into our C leg, which most likely in this move, we're going to take the low of our wave A. And for our sub waves, ABC down into A, ABC up into B, or maybe a WXY. I don't really care about that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into wave C. Now let's go on the live chart and see what is happening. So I'm thinking now probably we are having from this high an A, B, C structure to about this point. Followed by that, this whole move up is actually in form of an ABC, something like this. And then from this high, we may have a 5-wave impulsive structure on the downside. And you can argue maybe this is going to be a wave 1, correction for wave 2, big move down into wave 3, correction for 4, and this is the point that I'm trying to make. In case that you see another small move down in internet computer, in order to take this low about $5.9, you shouldn't really be worried at all. Odds are at that point we're going to complete the subwaves for, you know it, a very classic A, B, C flat structure, and then I'm expecting a very strong move on the upside in order to, once more, I'm gonna say it, reach to at least about this important region between $8.5 to $9. So overall, nothing really has changed, and I still believe that this bullish scenario in the short term is going to be in play. What if we get, for example, a move down in order to take this low? Two important points in here. At that point, this is not going to be an impulse on the upside, and I'm going to say this is probably a correction structure. And the second point, which is the most important one, I do not believe that ICP is going to go down a whole lot lower than this point, about, let's say, $5.6. So even in case that we want to have another move down in order to take this low, I'm expecting ICP to do something like this. Maybe, let's say, go to somewhere around $5.3, and then once more, I'm expecting a move up. And as long as we're not having this, I am not going to give up in internet computer for the short term. And this is the extent of short-term analysis that we are going to do in today's video. Now, in a lot of altcoins, this is not specific for ICP. We are seeing some moves on the downside. However, those moves are not actually as strong as the one that we are currently having in BTC. Let's go on Bitcoin's price chart and see what is happening. I think it was on Binance. Yep, there we go. So as you can see, recently we have been just setting constantly lower highs and lower lows. However, in other altcoins, our moves on the downside are not really as strong as this one. And the classic example of that can be Ethereum. Where is it? Okay, right in here. As you can see, in Ethereum, in the previous phase down, we have set this low, which was actually if you remember, a major liquidation event. And what are we doing now? We are having a move on the downside. That's fair enough. But in this move, we still haven't taken this low. And by the way, I still stand by what I said. I think in Ethereum, we have hit some sort of a bottom. And if you want some other examples, some better ones, here is actually a great one, QNT. In quant, not only we didn't really get a big move down, we also got a move on the upside in here. Now, in quant, we talked about it in the previous updates. The supply on exchanges were actually at all-time low. And I was saying, look, the fact that supply on exchanges are at all-time low can be a bullish sign. Do not get me wrong, but the demand has to also show up. And it did show up on QNT big time. I don't know what is happening in here. I'm guessing some people behind the scene know something that we don't. That's why they have been buying QNT big time in this phase. So the point that I'm trying to make is this. In the recent phase on the downside, which happened in the last couple of days, despite the big move down in BTC, in altcoin market, we haven't really seen a whole lot of a strong downward price action. And that to me is a very important sign, suggesting we are probably very close to hitting some sort of a bottom. Is it going to be a temporary one? Or maybe that's actually going to be our final bottom and we are going to start the next phase of the bull run. I would like to bet on the second option, but again, I cannot tell you anything for sure. There is no certainty in any market. We are only talking about the probabilities in here. And based on what I'm seeing, I would like to argue that the downsides in ICP and also a lot of other altcoins are very limited. And here is my final point. Let's go on ICP dominance chart and see what is going on there. And we talked about this chart before. This shows the relationship between ICP and the whole market. And what are we having in here? If I just go on H4 time frame, maybe actually on daily time frame. Okay, as you can see, we talked about this subject before. I believe we are having in ICP dominance chart an ABC in form of a zigzag structure, and in a zigzag we're gonna have 5 wave down into a correction for wave B, and I do think this is an ABC, and then another 5 down into our C leg, and like we talked about it before, this is 1, this is 2, another move down into wave 3, probably a running flat into our wave 4, and right now we are having a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another move down into wave 5, which is going to be on a higher degree into this orange wave 5 right in here. And at that point, what do we expect? I'm gonna say, at least for me, a solid move up in order to at least take this high in here about, let's say, like 0.42%. So this to me is another sign suggesting that we are very close to the end of our move down, and around the current areas can be a decent buying opportunity. So I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in ICP's price chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.